What I'm going to talk about in this lecture is the top 4 lessons learned from practice for global software engineering. Usually you have a top 5 or top 10, but I think there are really 4 things you need to focus on. Well, let me start with the first one. If you start doing global software engineering, I think it's best to start with mixed team and an agile setup. And by mixed teams, I mean having people on-site and off-site. What most people do is that they set up a team that is completely isolated from their own internal development teams. Because, well, that's the easiest, and that's how most companies pitch it to you. In order to have your own people, the people that you have employed, and working together with the people that work remote, it's trying to do it mixed. So creating teams in an agile setup, either if you do Scrum or Lean or Kanban or whatever your own preferred method is, I do not believe in really using an external vendor or a complete offsite team to do one set product. Simple reason, because there are very, very little projects or products that can be built in isolation. There's always some integration in some form going forward. So mixed teams, it is a bit harder to manage, but it gives you much, much better results. And if you take a look at the facilities you need to fix, I mean, there's a lot of facilities that you need to take care of, like cameras, speakerphones, etc. But I think it prevents us from us versus them mentality. So in my opinion, it's worth it. The second thing I would like to talk about is using only partners, not vendors. It starts to become a little bit of a management BS lingo. Every vendor talks about being a partnership and having kind of things going forward. But when we talk about global software engineering, and especially if you do it on many different locations, so at once upon a time 12 different locations and about 7 vendors, together with the people on our own payroll in Amsterdam, it will go wrong once in a while. How many procedures you have, how many agreements you have, something will go wrong. And what you need is people or a company that helps you fix a problem, and not start fixing SLAs and really your own contract management instead of helping your business grow further. So I would say only use partners. Make sure it's in a contract, make sure that you get into a partnership relation as well, and really do things together. It's a bit strange when it comes to financial calculations and how much does it cost, but I think in the end running with partners, not vendors, will save your company a lot of money. So the third thing, it's a people business. I mean, we call people resources, FTEs, or a number of something. We call people a lot of things in the business world, but let's make sure we call them people. Because when we go for global engineering, they're not resources in a different location or extra capacity or what kind of other lingo people think about. It's a people business. It's very important to be in contact with the people. What we used to do is have interviews with them. The people in our Amsterdam office have direct interviews with the offshore vendors via Skype and really get to know the people before they start a project. But also in between give feedback to each other, go visit. Do rotation schedules. Rotation schedules means having people from Amsterdam to move for India, Ukraine, or wherever you have your people, so that people meet each other. As I said, it's a people business, and everybody, regardless where they are in the world, would like to work in a good team, would like to have great colleagues, and knowing each other and understanding each other really benefits from having more productivity that way. We are talking about engaged employees, but it's very important if you do global software engineering that it's one engaged team together as well. So it's not just the company they currently work for, but it's also the project that you are running that they work for. So know their names and travel there yourself as well. I think that is one of the key lessons I learned. Last but not least, I think the main thing is thinking you should not manage. I mean, the whole story about self-steering teams and how it's agile so everybody can plan and have it in different locations, everybody's working together harmoniously. Yeah, right, maybe in the theory books. I read a lot of books about Scrum and about the way of self-steering teams should work. And it's sometimes a little bit of utopia, because again, it is a people business. So not everything is picture perfect. Not everybody works together in the way how you should or how you would like it to be. People are very creative, and the beauty of self-steering team is they get a lot of freedom. You just need to be careful that people are not picking all the freedom up. So if you go for global teams, it means you have to manage on output. And you need to put a little bit more emphasis on what the boundaries are. Because people are sitting so far away, you need to take a different look, a different way of managing things. And a way of just letting things go and assume it sorts itself out, yeah, that rarely works. Plus, we don't have the time to sort things out by itself. Generally, it takes a couple of years, and how it works in any business, I would say a couple of years is never what we have. So don't think you don't have to manage. You need to make sure that you manage just enough to give everybody the freedom and the creativity to create excellent results regardless of their location. So, to wrap things up, I think there are 4 things you need to focus on when you go for global software engineering. Use mixed teams in agile setup. Using partners, not vendors. Don't forget it's a people business, and make sure you manage.